Hello out there. Are you here? Let's see. Is anyone here with me? It's okay if I just start painting by myself, but let's see. Okay. Hey, Pam Johnson. Hey, I need to pick your brain off line about Alaska. So I'll direct message you about that. But anyway, let's get started. Hey, Carmen Dudley. Let's get started. I just, you know what? I have this weird contraption tonight because I decided to go live and my phone was like on like 0%. So I am trying to I'm trying to do this with my phone plugged into the wall, whatever. Crazy. Anyway, I wanted to show you, I just thought it would be fun to just do a little paint along. So I just thought it would be something fun for us to try. If it's something that everybody likes, then we can do it more often. I'm game. So everybody knows where to find me on Facebook and Instagram. Pam, be sure to read your email today because there's a link for a video, and if you watch the video, inside of that video that my friend Catherine is doing, there is a she has a promo code for my latest art printable. So I started this series called Artistry in Leather because I'm just kind of mesmerized by tooled leather. I just find it just fascinating. So I thought I would show you kind of like what worked for me, and once you download that printable, be sure to save it to your downloads on your computer. So I'm going to show you kind of what I did. So I started out with I don't know if you can see my palette. I just started out, watercolor always takes a minute to get activated, so I just put some water on there, bring it over to my palette, and then add lots of water. Because I want it like a really light watery wash. This one I did in kind of an aqua turquoise because I saw this cute purse that was tooled leather, but it had undertones of the turquoise, so I'm gonna fiddle with that a little bit. And you know what, if it doesn't work, I'll just print another one. Okay, so I'm gonna take this and test it out over here and see if it's light enough. I think it should be lighter, so I'm gonna add some more water. All right, let's see, how's that? Okay, so now I'm gonna take some of that watery wash and I'm just gonna start, give it a base, just give it a base of color. And it kind of almost looks like coffee. I'm just using my my classic set from Prima, which is now called Art Philosophy, but I just feel like you can make that work for you forever, because it's if you mix your colors, you'll be fine. Okay, so we just have like this light wash, right? So we're just gonna let that go. So, and also remember that watercolor is very imperfect, or excuse me, leather is very imperfect. So we're not going to want it to be like a perfect wash of color with no highs and lows. We want lots of highs and lows, right? So, so I just got a little bit of, I got a little bit of brown up here on my aqua, so I'm going to try and remove it. So I wet my brush and then I wipe it on my paint cloth, and then I'm going to take that dry brush and I'm just going to come over it and see how much I can suck up. See, I got quite a bit of it, right? I'm going to repeat the process. Wash my brush out, dry it on my paint cloth, then come over and just wash it out. There we go. There we go. Hardly even there. Okay, so now, while we're waiting for this one to dry, hi Annalisa, we're going to, so the first thing that we did, Annalisa, was that we just laid down a really light wash of our base color. So that purse that I saw was like a turquoise base with some brown on the embossed parts, right? So I'm gonna see how this looks, right? We're just gonna kind of figure it out as we go, and just start in all those places where I've already shown you where the shading should go with the stippling that I've applied when I drew it. So we're just going to, I'm just kind of sloppily laying down a little bit of color of this brown, right, on top of the aqua. Remember, we're just going to use my pounce method, and we're just going to kind of let it sit and soak in a little bit, because this is on watercolor paper, so we are able to play with that color a little bit more. So let's go all the way down. We can deepen that or lighten things as we go, as long as you do nice light pretty translucent layers of color. You can build and build and build. And the thing with watercolors, remember, is that we want to go slow, right? So is this a terrible time for everybody to come and paint? Tell me what time a good time would be. We just got back from Costco and I was like, you know what, I feel like painting. Right, I could get somebody to paint with me. If I go online. Hey, Rennie. Right, so we're just gonna continue to do that pounce. We're gonna rinse our brush, dry it off on our paint cloth. Remember we talked about, and remember that a damp brush is your friend when it comes to blending, right? So now we're just gonna take that damp brush and we're just gonna work, soften those edges, right? It's kind of interesting to do it on a different color. That's kind of interesting. So we'll kind of soften that out. There we go. Does anybody have any questions or? Oh, Rennie, did you post it in the private group? your Starry Night? I would love to see it. I have not finished mine either. But maybe that's something fun that we could do, like on a live during the week. So we're just softening those edges, right? Because we want it to kind of look worn and old and vintagey. Remember, just keep wetting your brush and then drying it off on your paint cloth so that your brush is just damp. Because if you came over with a wet brush, it's just gonna kind of make mud. You're just gonna, it'll just wash it all out. But we want to just slowly build those layers of color. So here, you see what I did? I got a big drip there. So I'm gonna do that same trick. I'm gonna clean my brush and then I'm gonna come back in. Because this is already dry, we're just gonna slowly work at removing that color. There we go, not bad. Just keep softening those edges so we don't have any harsh lines of color. I'm going to turn and move those. There, how's that? Add some more brown up here. So, hey, is anybody reading anything good? I just started The Last Train from Key West. Oh, it's so good. And I listen to it while I draw, so holy smokes, I drew a bunch today. I got started on, I finished up some state embroidery patterns for a donut, and I started drawing more state embroidery patterns. Because you know, I have to draw all of those images first, and then kind of fit them in like a puzzle into the shape of the state. Oh, I'm kind of digging this. Whoops, 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 whoops. Well, take a picture, Rennie, and post it in the private group, and then I can kind of see where you're, you know, where you're headed. I think I am going to use colored pencils and maybe some of my Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Out White, or Bleed Proof White, excuse me, to get some really nice bright white contrast in that night sky. I left some of my circles, I think I didn't color them yet because I kind of wanted to think about how I was going to layer that color. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to show you is that I'm going to come in with this skinny brush, right? And on the, you'll notice on the outside of the tool design, it's dark too. So, oh, I would totally use, well, I totally, yeah, I would absolutely, I would use those colors. I would use purples and blues, and then I might add a little bit of yellow, you know, to kind of simulate that, because remember, you're going to want to have those moonlight catch lights, right? So I'm going to try and just little by little build this color outside of the tooled area, so we create some nice depth. So little by little, I'm going to come around all the edges. And even though it looks weird and funky right now, remember we're going to keep going back and softening those edges. Just let it soak in a little bit, and then we'll come back and soften them. So is everybody painting, or are you just watching me? What's everybody doing? Oh, I'm really liking that. I was thinking about, I had painted this one with the leftover aqua that I had, but I just did super light. But I was thinking pink. Pink would be really cool too. When we were in Mexico, I saw this really beautiful pink leather tooled purse. And you know I took a picture of it because I was like, oh, I could totally do something with that. So this is the first in a series that, like I said, I've started called Artistry in Leather, because I have like all these ideas of different things that I want to, different designs that I want to create. To emulate tooled leather, because I just feel like that's such a beautiful art form, you know. Remember, if you get a little bit too much paint, you can always just go back with your brush, dry your brush, and then come back, and then it kind of works like a little bit like a, I don't know, it'll just suck some of the paint off, for lack of a better word. I'm kind of all over the place, so it's hard to remember, like, where did I start? And there's all these nooks and crannies. Yay! I'm so glad you got it. I am using, yes, Carmen. So I ran Northwoods. You know I love that Northwoods watercolor paper. I sometimes it works with my inkjet printer and sometimes not. But to be on the safest side, I take it to Kinko's and run it through their machine, because their machine is a laser printer, and then it's not gonna move once you print it. The black ink won't move. Okay, did I? No, I just saw a piece that I missed. So, but because Northwoods is, it still has some pretty decent watercolor properties, and it like it can hold quite a bit of water. I mean, it's not arches or anything, but it's good. It's good for a card and to work on those watercolor skills. Okay, let's see. Whoops. Hey, Michelle, how are you? How are you? So anyway, I use Northwoods, and it's super thin, so as far as watercolor paper coat is concerned. So you can run it through your printer if you just run one sheet at a time. And if it doesn't work, then take it to Kinko's. Just wear, you know what, just wear your mask in there. And you know, Kinko's is pretty good self-serve machines. So what I do is that I email the printable to Print and Go. I think it's Print and Go. I don't know if it's like at Kinko's. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what it is, but I will put it in the comments or make a post about it later. Anyway, then once you get there, you're just gonna punch in the number. It kind of shows you. So you can do it all from your phone. You're gonna just punch in the number, and then you can then you tell it how many, it'll give you a code, you punch in the code, and then you print however many you want. So I just, because I don't want to go back there very often, I just kind of do like 10 of something, or however many I feel like I want to play with, because then I just got them at home. I don't really go very many places. I'm too big of a chicken. Okay, so do you guys kind of see how it's building some depth, right? And then, so these, I like to kind of push it back toward what I'm coming out from, right? So this is the line I'm coming out from. That's where I'm building the shadow around the depth, right? I want this to seem like it's receding from here, right? So I want to keep this, right? I want to soften that edge, and I want to push that dark, I want to push that brown toward this black line. Then I'm going to take a little bit more of the brown. Hey, Lucinda. I'm going to take a little bit more of the brown and tap it on my, can you see that? Tap it on my palette, right? And then I'm going to, is that better? And then I'm going to take some of the lighter, the watery brown, and I'm going to keep adding it, right? But I want it to be a little bit deeper. So I'm going to test this. Yep, that's good. And then I'm going to rinse my brush, dry my brush, and then I'm going to come in with this darker brown, and I'm just going to come up right into where we were before. So do you see how we're just slowly building, right? Slowly building that depth. Like you can already feel like it kind of has a little dip in it at these little loopy things, even with just this little bit, right? Little by little. I mean, and I'm kind of barely touching it, and I barely have some paint on the end of my brush. Because it's all just kind of a optical illusion, you know? How's everybody doing? Is everybody painting along? Or are you just watching me? Okay, so now, remember when I did the outline, the outside of this, now I'm gonna come back in there. Remember, this is the place where it's gonna be the darkest, right? Right there. And right on the edge. So we're just barely adding bits of brown, of this deeper brown on the edge. Put your paintbrush in there, in that darker, deeper brown, and then you're gonna come into that little crevice in between the loops, right? The arches, and then you're gonna kind of come around the edge. And then remember, we're gonna let that dry. Then we'll come back with our damp brush. So look, we could do right here. That's gonna be deeper in there. And then we're gonna barely now remember, we're going to rinse our brush, tap it off on our cloth, and then we're going to come back. I'm going to work on, excuse me, drink water. I'm going to work on softening those edges, right? And then just kind of incorporating that deeper shade into the first layer of the brown. Clean our brush, dry it off on your paint cloth, and then do the same. It's quite repetitive, which I find really relaxing and mesmerizing. If you get too much paint on your brush, use that paint cloth, wipe it off, and then come back in. And then I just follow the line that naturally kind of happens and just barely, remember Lucinda, we were doing this when we were painting flowers. You're just gonna kind of barely touch your paper, but you're creating, see how you're creating this kind of a, what do I wanna say? Like a divot sort of into your leather, so to speak, right? And take a little bit of that deeper brown, come in here, and just seriously, we're like barely touching the paper. And just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And we're gonna come here. Whoa, got a lot of paint on there. Yikes. Okay, do you remember how I told you we could solve that? So you're gonna take your brush, dry it off on your cloth, and now that's gonna kind of be like a sponge, right? Pull that paint off very carefully, and then wipe it on your cloth. Pull that paint off, wipe it on your cloth, then it's more manageable. You're able to work with that a little bit better. Hey Renee Ford, I promise I owe you an email. I know. thank you, Miss Barbara. That was awful nice to say. So again, I'm gonna clean my brush and then I'm gonna come back and you're just gonna slowly bounce out that kind of the sharp edge. You just want it to be, soften it. And then you're just gonna do that back and forth, and it's going to, just that motion will create, see how just that motion will create depth. And that's kind of what you want. Because tooled leather is all about like highs and lows, and you see, like, it's all highs and lows, and think about a tooled leather purse or belt or whatever. It has all kinds of, it's such a good exercise for shading and highlighting, shading and highlighting, shading and highlighting, right? I just don't want you to think that I forgot, Renee. I promise I have not. My head's already swirling with ideas. I can't see how long we've been going, guys. Can anybody tell me? 31 minutes. Yikes. Does everybody have to wrap up and go, well, does everybody have to wrap up and go eat dinner, or are you okay to watch me paint? And I hope you're painting along with me. That makes it more fun, I think. Remember, just keep rinsing that brush and then drying it off on your cloth or your paper towel, because that's what's going to help with the blend. Okay, so I'm going to leave this one alone for a while, and then we're going to come back to the one that we started, right? So we're going to do exactly what we did on this one, but since we started out with a brown base, it's going to show the shading entirely differently, but you're going to see it this one is an experiment. This one, I've done it a few times. Oh, that's too much. Remember, if you have too much paint on your brush, just tap it on your cloth. You can. It's so much easier to add paint, to add color, than to try and take it away. So, how is it in Michigan today, Renee? Is it hot? Because it is hot as Hades here. And I got this super cute mask from Mexico with that beautiful Mexican embroidery on it. Holy smokes. It was quite hot wearing that into Costco. But I knew I looked cute, so that counted for a lot. How about Alaska? Pam, how is Alaska today? What's your summer like? And how are you guys being affected by the COVID? Are you 90s? For real. Heck yes, looking cute for the win, Renee. You know it, sister. You know it. Oh, and I bet it's super humid too. Ugh. I think it might have even been 90s up in the zoo where my parents live. Crazy. So just like on the aqua one, we're just building that color slowly, slowly, slowly. And I know it seems like it takes a long time, and it kind of does, but don't most things that are worth the wait? They're worth the effort. Really? So are you, Pam, are you guys having to wear masks everywhere? Has your governor put in a mandate for masks and social distancing and that kind of thing? And if so, are people abiding by it? $850 cases statewide. That's crazy. That is crazy. Arizona's been hard hit. Michigan was hard hit. California, Texas. Oh. I just stay home and draw. So let's go for a couple more minutes, since this is my first time doing this kind of a thing. And let me know if you want to do it again. I will. What time is it? How long have we been going? Let's see. I know, Pam, it's crazy. It's crazy. We do. I know, but masks are obviously working, right? What time is it? Carmen, tell me what time it is. Are you still here? Hi, Mom. Painting tooled leather, Mom. How hot is it in the Sioux today? I was just telling Renee, who's down in Livonia, that you guys were hot too. Okay, Carmen, will you tell me when it's 5:15? We'll sign off at 5:15. How's that? And then you guys let me know if you want to do it again. And if you would rather do it in the morning or the afternoon or later in the evening. I just don't want to do too late because then people on the East Coast, it's too late. Did I get all my nooks and crannies on that one? I think so. Now I have to do our outside. Yeah, it's been hot here. Well, it kind of cooled down, which is only in Arizona do you say it kind of cooled down to into the 90s. But in the summer in Arizona, that's a thing. But it's still hot, so I go for a swim every day. It kind of works all the stress of, everybody has those moments, don't they, where they just feel like they're going a little batty inside of your house. I mean, I love my house, but holy tamale, I do just want to go someplace. But not that bad. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to catch anybody's cootie. Like, we went to Costco today. That's the first time I've been to Costco in probably since like the beginning of March. Because, ugh. Number one, there were always big fat lines, and it's too hot to wait outside. There's nothing in there I wanted bad enough. So I'm going to put like a little survey or something up, and then we'll talk about, I'll give you guys some choices, like, do you want to do it every day? Do you want to do it twice a week? Do you want to do it in the morning? Do you want to do it, in the afternoon? If this time, like, what time works best for everybody, and I'll just try and do what the consensus for the whole group is. Do you hear those doggies coming down? Because they know it's getting close to dinner time. Their dinner time. Well, I'm having fun. Hope you guys are. I just kind of needed some friend time, some painty friend time. I guess Saturdays just aren't enough for me. I'm feeling the need to surround myself with, like-minded people who like the same things as me, who get excited about that perfect shade of brown, who get excited about a new brush in the mail. I don't know. Carmen, are you still using your same water cup in your paint? I'm telling you, when you find your sweet spot, you don't want to go back. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop for now, and because I'm kind of at a stopping spot, and I'll put out a little questions on this Facebook group, and you guys tell me when you want to do it again. I'm game. I'll do it whenever you're ready. Go paint something tonight, you guys. I adore you all. Talk to you soon. Bye.